anyone has been playing a game of control this season like Chelsea, it is Angela's bestie, D. But luckily for D, she passes the Peter Griffin meme skin color test that Angela implements anytime she thinks someone is running the game. Wait, is Angela Peter Griffin? Because if you put Angela's hair and glasses on Peter, holy shit, Karen Angela is the meme. What's up, everybody? Happy weekend. Back for some more Big Brother 28 live feeds updates. I'm glad I did 2 videos yesterday because I still have so much to talk about that I don't even know if I have time for it. There has been more gaming in the past 48 hours than the entire first month of this game combined. So you can tell how much the first HOH and that power structure forming with the vets and then adding powers really fucked up the game, because you could see that it felt like people thought they needed the vets' permissions to play the game. Thankfully, it seems to be changing with some of the players at least. You know, my second video yesterday, I thought Lala was going to stand strong on her nominations, but an hour before Lala had to make her nominations, Kamu and Yash got to work. Yash telling Kamu about how Drew knows that Yash was going to vote him out, wonders who told him. I think Drew overheard them talking, Yash and Kamu, so yeah. But Yash and Kamu were trying to figure out a game plan and if it's going to need Drew, because Yash is saying that Angela, Chuk, and Haley can't be trusted, maybe D. They're still trying to figure out who actually voted with them, the other person, to keep Lyric. This past week it was actually Chuk, but they don't think it was Chuk. This plan revolving around maybe needing Drew, not always the best thing. If your plan needs Drew, you might need to rethink. But Yash was really trying to get to Drew, and he did go to Drew about the vote last week, saying that Drew, Devens, D, Angela, Haley, and Chuk all are the ones that wanted Drew out originally last week. Yash was really trying to lay out all of the people Drew cannot trust and wanted him out. It wasn't just Yash. We'll see if Drew listens. I feel like Drew does feel like he's on the outs of a lot of things. He's no one's priority. What he's going to do with that information. Will it mean he actually starts playing his own game? We'll see. I mean, I'll be surprised if that happens, although he's not as big of a lost cause as Barrett, in my opinion. Kamu had a conversation with Taylor. This was already after going to Lala 2 times, trying to get her to not put him on the block. Kamu was asking Taylor if Lala thinks Chuk is with her, because Chuk is not, and neither is Haley. And, you know, Kamu was pitching again that he could be a number for Lala and Taylor in this game. Kamu talking to Taylor about how they need to get together, form some numbers. I think what Taylor liked the most about Kamu's pitch is that he has it out for Angela and D. And someone is going to have to take shots at the vets in this game. And right now, Taylor doesn't want to do it, and she doesn't want Lala to be the one to do it. Yeah, but I think Taylor hearing that Kamu is willing to do it made Taylor want to save Kamu this week and try and convince Lala not to put Kamu on the block. Yash joined Kamu and Taylor in a talk, comparing notes about everyone. And Yash knows that Chuk was telling Angela that Yash was going to put Angela on the block. That's why he's become very suspicious of Chuk, and that's why Angela is suspicious of Yash. And so this conversation kind of became a bit of a Chuk exposed party, that Chuk has been throwing out names like Lala's. So Taylor went to Lala, saying that Kamu doesn't trust the other side. Kamu knows Angela and D are lying, which Taylor knows is true, because Taylor was in on that vote. And then Taylor told Lala that Chuk is playing them, and so that Lala should put Chuk up instead of Kamu, which was a great idea on Taylor's part. I know people on social media just like, put up Kamu and Chuk and Haley and get those 3 on the block. Well, yeah, that's easy for the game in general, but for Taylor's specific game, and Taylor is running a part of Lala's HOH, Kamu is good for Taylor's game. And I think became even better for Taylor's game when she heard that Kamu wouldn't mind targeting some of the vets. Kamu does still have good relationships with Devens, though. So that's something. But Taylor does too. But we know that Devens is very much connected to D, so that's going to always complicate things. Yash also came into the HOH room to tell Lala that Kamu is someone they could use in this game, and that Angela is not trusting Yash, and it's because of Chuk. And Kamu told him that Chuk has been throwing both Yash's name under the bus and Lala's name under the bus. Lala did bring up the fact that yesterday Chuk told Angela that he, Lala, and Taylor had each other's backs, and Angela told that to her. And so Lala was wondering, why would Chuk do that? Because it just puts more suspicion onto all three of them, which is true. Kamu came in, really pushed the noms to be Chuk, Haley, and Barrett, how they should go up, and whoever goes home is fine with them. And Lala listened to Kamu, and those became the nominations. I love this gameplay from Yash and Kamu. Yash getting proactive after the house was just blown to shit after the last vote is super smart, especially for someone who hasn't had anything solid for the entire first month of the game. I think Yash being proactive, trying to gather numbers immediately after a power structure just blew up is super smart. Kamu also got active. He rightfully knew that if he was on the block this week, come Thursday, his ass was grass. And so he saved himself, fighting hard here. Like I said, he talked to Lala 2 times before all this, and Lala denied him wanting to stay off the block. So Kamu went to the right people, Yash and Taylor, to be numbers with him to go to Lala and make things change. I don't like the way Kamu did his HOH. I did not like the isolating of Jason whatsoever. I respect Kamu here for playing his own game, though. It's what I've been wanting from people this entire season. And I thought Kamu did a really good job fighting for his life yesterday. Some other notes from all of this mess. Melody and Mallory were whining about both Drew and Barrett going up and how this means Lala is not really with them. I just wish that these two would actually find a game, because truly all they do is whine. And now the game is actually busted open for once, so they need to do something. But they both have terrible social games, especially Melody. Melody will only talk to Mallory, Barrett, and Drew for like 80% of the day. But especially when it comes to game talks. Like, you gotta do more than that, Melody. Another note, Dee and Angela lying about their vote to save face with Haley was fucking stupid. Because not even Haley believes them anymore. And Kamu and Yash know that they're lying anyway. I think Devens played off that vote way better, saying, he thought it was a house vote. It was way better than what Angela and Dee did. As I said yesterday, I actually do believe that Dee's grip on the game took a little hit in the aftermath of this vote. Not a big one yet, but a little hit it did. This was a mistake from Dee, in my opinion. Mallory did get y'all's America's vote just to get a punishment, as we all kind of called it. The first newbie to be voted in wouldn't get shit. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. I think not. She got the Adam and Eve punishment and chose to be basically chained to Melody for days. They are now in their Eve and Eve costumes, and I think Melody and Mallory look great as Eve and Eve, especially Melody. I know Hateful Haley is probably stewing. She didn't get to break up Drew and Melody last week, and now she has to watch Melody look great in her costume walking around and Drew following Melody around. Plus, she had to hear Kamu yesterday say that he said this to Taylor, that he wishes they would have gotten this punishment together, to be in the costume together. So I just know Hateful Haley is having a terrible day. She got nominated. I did laugh when Devens was complaining about how Drew has been following Melody around all night, and Dee was like, well, yeah, she's half naked. Duh. But Lala's noms did surprise everyone, because only Kamu, Yash, and Taylor knew in the end. I thought Taylor played it off great, at least at first, before talking a little too much throughout the night. But at first, Taylor was great. She told Chuk and Haley she was also shocked, and they believed her. Uh, Taylor right now is getting in good with a lot of different people. Her social game has been a star these past couple of weeks. Chuk was annoyed, went to Lala asking what this is about. This is wild. Lala told Chuk that he was attached to a sinking ship and that people aren't on Haley's side and that Chuk is attached to her and that Haley's the sinking ship. Telling Chuk that he shouldn't want to be a part of a sinking ship. Chuk was upset, saying that he wishes Lala didn't lie to him. Lala said, I didn't lie to you. I didn't know until I talked to everybody. One thing about Lala's game, again, I'll point out, I said this yesterday in one of my videos, she was terrible as HOH getting information on a week where you could get so much information out of these people because of what just went down over the past week. She did a terrible job of that. That's why it did come down to the last minute that she made a change to her plans, because she was finally actually getting information thanks to Yash, Kamu, and Taylor. But Chuk was saying that everyone thinks that Lala doesn't know how to play the game, and during the tea party, Lala essentially asked Kamu, how do I play the game if I can't trust anyone? And Lala said, guess what? That's part of my game. Then she went around all night saying she's just been playing dumb, basically, and she was playing dumb at the tea party. So, like, has Lala's game this whole time been that she's just been playing stupid? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think that's a part of her game, yeah. But I think she spent last night trying to convince herself that that has been her game the whole time, when really she's just been completely out of the loop, and she still sucks at getting information. All Chuk and Haley did last night after being nominated is complain. Haley not wanting to walk anywhere in the house without Chuk by her side. You know, Haley already thought that she had a hard time in this game. You know, the first 4 weeks of the game where she was never on the block and always on the side of power. But now she actually faces her first adversity of the game. And what does she want to do? She wants to quit and give up. Haley is soft. Unlike her face. Mind you, this is the same woman who was gleeful when Rome was being isolated and talking mad shit to Rome when he was iced out of the big alliance stuff, and she was gleeful at the idea of Jason being emotionally isolated. And now her big idea is that if she wins veto, she will be a martyr and she will use it on Chuk, or she will not use it at all and they can gather the numbers and get Barrett out, and she will show how in she is and how loyal she can be. I mean, I wish that they could get the numbers there to get Barrett out, but I don't think that's happening, sadly. One thing Melody is good for, other than looking good in her costume, is ranting about Haley, talking about how it makes her so happy. How does it fucking feel? You know, you thought you had it hard, bro. She said she knows that Haley's probably bitching and moaning right now and being like, this is so hard. And Melody just finds it hilarious because now she knows how it actually feels. She said that Haley got blindsided fucking twice and nobody fucking likes you. Melody's beef with Haley does entertain me. Let me get to this egg-shaped Karen Angela and get this shit out of the way. First of all, I think the way she talks to Lala is weird. She talks to Lala in this emotionally odd way, borderline condescending way sometimes. I don't have time to find the clips, but to me it is weird. And if I was Lala, that would get on my nerves. Like, why are you being kind of weird and condescending with me all the time? Though I honestly don't love the way Lala talks to people in her vague sentences either. Maybe this is just a part of being in your 50s. I don't know. But Angela's Karen shit was activated again last night with Taylor and Yash. And I'm not going to say that Taylor and Yash did not have a big day of gaming, because they did. But for Angela to act, again, like Taylor is now suddenly running the game, when Angela was just in an 8-person alliance, that was the power structure, for an entire month of the game, it's asinine to now say that Taylor is running the game. She continues to say that Taylor is just like Chelsea from Big Brother 26 because they're both black women. That's the only reason she says that. Because they don't have much else in common, but especially at a game level. Chelsea had working relationships that entire game. Taylor has been fighting from the bottom the whole game. If anyone has been playing a game of control this season like Chelsea, It is Angela's bestie, D. But luckily for D, she passes the Peter Griffin meme skin color test that Angela implements anytime she thinks someone is running the game. They have to be a certain color. Because Kamu actually did a lot yesterday, but I guess he passes the test. Because Angela only suspicious of Taylor and Yash. Wait, is Angela Peter Griffin? Because if you put Angela's hair and glasses on Peter, holy shit, Karen Angela is the meme. Overall, though, yesterday was fun. The feeds are finally fun this season for now. It's good to see actual gaming, good to see some different things forming. Yash and Kamu had an amazing day. I think Taylor did great in certain aspects, though she did do a lot of talking by the end of the night. And I think she agreed with that herself. I do think we're getting to a point where Dee and Angela and then Yash, Taylor, and maybe Kamu are going to be trying to play each other over this next week. Oh, I did forget. Dee finally told Devens about her power after a week of having it. She kind of had to after Mallory got the vote this week, clearly. I do wonder how Devens feels about it taking a week to be told. He played it cool, but like he literally had to pull it out of Dee what the power actually was when she just kept saying it's an ass power. So that's something to watch. Maybe that can finally be a little thing that comes between Dee and Devens, because Devens told Dee about his power very quickly. Drew, he now knows he's kind of on the outs of things. I would love to see him start playing his own game that isn't all about the vets, but I doubt it. Barrett is still more of a lost cause in my opinion, though. To be honest, this week I'm just glad Taylor and Yash are good and safe. They are the gamers I have been waiting for that I can root for. You know, Kamu did suggest that maybe Angela could be the backup plan for a renom instead of Drew. I don't know if Lala will be fully convinced to do that, though. If it is, would Devens use his veto on Angela? He said he would to Dee in the past, but I would be surprised if he didn't keep it for himself and just used it on Angela of all people. So that's something to watch, I suppose. I do wish Mallory and Melody would do more, but you know, them being tied to Drew and Barrett, it's kind of impossible to root for, in my opinion. Though if they were in their Even Eve costumes all season, I could root for them, I think. Stupid.